how to overcome that fear of failing. If that sounds like something you need help with, stick around. Hello there, welcome back. I'm Andrea Patrick, the BU Boss. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you never miss an episode. Now, this channel is all about how to practically walk out being an effective, efficient, and aware leader, not only in your life, but also in your career or your business. That is done through a myriad of ways, so you're always going to have a good time here on the channel. Now, on today's episode, I am talking about how to overcome that fear of failing. We all have it. Nobody wants to go through the pressures of people watching us and trying to see if we're going to be successful. But in this episode, I am giving you 5 tips, to overcome that fear of failing. Why do you think so many people are afraid of failing? I think that people are afraid of what other people might say about them. They think that if they do what is seemingly failing to someone else, that, people are going to have something to say about that. Or maybe it's a fear that they are going to let someone down if they fail. And so that's kind of what scares them to death and makes them sort of paralyzed with fear. Or could it be that they feel like they'll seem unprofessional? Maybe they think that if I fail at this, or if I'm not good at this, then somehow I'm unprofessional, or I'm not credible, or people will think that they shouldn't listen to me. And then sometimes people fear failing because they think that they aren't good enough. They're afraid of the success. They're afraid that they're going to try something, it's going to fail, then they'll feel bad about themselves. Or they're afraid to start because they're afraid of the success that they may not be ready for. So there are all kinds of reasons that people have a fear of failing and why they don't want to do it. So today I want to talk about how to overcome this fear of failing and set yourself up for success in so many ways. Because honestly, guys, if you're not failing, you're not trying. I have read so many books, watched so many webinars, and just listened to experts time and time again say that they failed miserably at their first attempts at whatever it was they were trying to do. And so it's common, especially if you are going down this entrepreneurial path, that there are going to be times when things just don't work out, and it's okay. We have to be okay with the fail, because as my cousin Jennifer so eloquently pointed out in my interview with her and her husband over on my podcast, failing is really your first attempt in learning. And so you have to fail in order to learn what will work and what won't work for you in your business, in your life, in your career, whatever the case may be. So you really want to get that fail out of the way fast. And if you have to fail so often, then do so. But each time, look at the lesson, understand what you needed to learn from that fail so you don't repeat it. So failing is really your first attempt in learning. Remember that, write that down. Also, I've heard it said that if you're not failing, you're not trying. So for those of you who might be struggling with, what someone thinks of you if you fail, then my question to them would be, if you're not failing somewhere in your life, then you're not really successful. You're not really trying. Or are you trying? So don't fear the failure, because it means that you're trying. It means you are making attempts to succeed at something. It means that you have a desire to make it in some form or fashion, and you are making steps or taking steps to achieve that goal. And now I want to just kind of dive into these 5 things that can help you overcome this fear of failing. The first thing is turn to the one thing you have total control over, and that is you. Get you right. Understand you. Figure out what you need. So here is where introspection is important. What do you need to know about yourself so that you can create these circumstances for optimal success, so that you can navigate your life, your business, your profession, all of those things, your relationships? How can you navigate those as best as possible? What do you need for those environments and those circumstances to be the best they can possibly be? So first, really look at what you can control. You are what you can control. Outside of everything else, you are responsible for you. You can't fail at being you because you're you. But what you do have to figure out is, who are you? What in the world are you about? What do you want? What do you like? What don't you like? What won't you tolerate? We talked about this before, but you really need to understand how you operate and what you need to do your best, because that's what you can control. So be very introspective here in understanding what it is you need to do your best. Number 2 is you want to identify something that you're able to change, okay? So I want to talk about this one for a second, because I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but I did an Instagram live, not a live, a story. What I decided about myself was that there are some things that I need to work on. And I thought, April showers bring May flowers. And I'm going to incorporate that into my life and for the changes that I need to do. I want to put in a good amount of work. Just take those 30 days and say, you know what? I'm going to bite the bullet, do the hard work, do the things that I don't want to do, try the things that have been sort of, I don't really want to do them type things, or I don't want to take the time. I'm going to do it so that I can see blossoms. I can see change. I can see a difference. And so that's what I'm going to do. I've identified the things that I'm able to change in my personal life, my mind, my body, my spirit, and my business. So those 4 things: mind, body, spirit, and business. I am going to do some challenges. I'd love for you to join me, by the way. So if you want to DM me or leave a comment in the comments below, and we can do that together starting tomorrow. Our journey starts tomorrow, so I hope you see this early. The goal is to do these hard things. Find or identify something that you are able to change and make the change. It could be just one thing. I'm going to change 4 different things for my mind, my body, my spirit, and my business. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make those adjustments so that prayerfully I will begin to see some results. So I'm not going to be afraid, because I am identifying the thing that I want to change, that I have control over. And those things are going to sort of permeate other areas of my life and make those things better. You don't have to be afraid of failing. The goal is to attempt it. If I get to day 17 and I realize that this is just not going to be doable, I tried it. I did my best. You got to do your best though. That's the thing. You can't just quit because it's just like this inconvenient, right? The goal is to just put your effort forward, identify the thing that you can change. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of the failure in it, because it's just one thing. So you try it, you work really hard at it, you do your best, you don't flake out. And then if for some reason it turns out that wasn't the thing, guess what? You failed fast, you got it over with, and you can move on. The next thing is to make a date to get started. As I just mentioned, I am going to try my best to do something different, to get a different result, and to have great results. So I've identified the thing that I want to change in me, what I can do for me, the change that I need to make in me, for me, those 4 things: mind, body, spirit, and business. And then I've identified the block of time that I want to do this in. So I'm going to do it for the month and just see. That's my testing ground. That is what I'm going to do for 30 days. You don't have to fear something. You don't have to fear the failure when you give yourself a time limit. That's why SMART goals are so important, because SMART goals are very specific. I'm identifying these changes in my mind, body, spirit, and my business. Very specific. I have specific things that I want to do in each one of those areas. I also know that I'm going to measure it. I'm going to take pictures of myself today. I don't want to, but pictures of myself and what I look like now, so that I can do that same thing at the end of these 30 days to see if there was a difference. I want to measure it. I'm going to make sure that what I'm trying to do is achievable, and that it's relevant to what I'm trying to do overall, and that it is time. Block off that time, hold yourself accountable during that time, and then you need to execute. That's number 4. Make the change, go ahead and do the thing. Now, the key with execution though is sometimes we feel like we're in a silo alone and we don't have anyone to sort of guide us or help us. And so that's another reason that we fear to fail, because we feel like we don't have all the information. We feel like we don't have all the pieces of the puzzle, or we may have all the pieces of the puzzle, but we don't know how they all fit together. That is where you need to find a support system. You need to find people who have been where you want to go and can help you to move along the process of achieving the goal or doing the thing that you are afraid of. So often the fear is of the unknown. You fear failing because you don't know what is to come or what is needed. That's where support comes in. That's where things like my BU Boss Squad come in, where we are all together collectively growing and building off of each other's experiences and learning from the time-tested trainings that are happening within the membership. So when you you are inside, you have a support system of women who quite honestly have maybe been there, done that. Maybe they're going through it. Maybe you can lend a hand and pull someone else up. But the point is when you're executing and you're trying to overcome this fear of failure because you've decided the thing that you want to change, have a support system. Also find like-minded people. That's where that finding people who've been there, done that, or have experience in that, or have taught this and found success in it in some way or another is going to be beneficial for you as you begin to go through your change or whatever it is you have a fear of failing. The last thing that you want to do is just really allow yourself a time to celebrate the win, celebrate the accomplishment. Whether you finished the race or not, if you did your absolute best, you put your absolute best foot forward, you know that you gave it your all, and maybe you found out early on in the process that this just wasn't for you. Guess what? You failed fast. And that's what you want to do. You want to get it over with. You want to go ahead and try the thing. Don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of the fail. You want to get in there. You want to try it. You want to do your absolute best, put your absolute best foot forward so that you can say you gave it your all. And if it doesn't work out, guess what? It wasn't supposed to work out because you gave it your all. Like, you can't do that and half do it, right? You can't go into it half-heartedly, lackadaisically, not giving it your all, not putting in the effort. You can't do that and then at the end quit and say, oh, well, I tried it and it didn't work out. That's not fair. That's not the best way to do it. You need to go into it with the expectation that you are going to do your absolute best. And then when you realize doing your best that it's not going to work out and you stop, if it's not going the whole length of time, or it's not going through the whole process, or if it's not finishing the program, or whatever the case may be, you gave it your all, you failed fast. Remember, you learned the lesson from it, and now you can move forward on to doing the next thing. Because remember, failing is the first attempt in learning. So if you got it over with and you fail fast, then move on to the next thing. But if you get it right, then let's celebrate those wins. Number 5 is to bask in the satisfaction of knowing that you controlled something and you conquered it. So you don't have to fear the failure. You need to embrace the failure, because either way, you have accomplished something. You learned something because you realized it wasn't the right thing, or you achieved something because it was the right thing and you actually follow through and you got it done. Those are the 5 ways that you can overcome the fear of failing. I'll run through them one more time. You need to turn to the one thing that you can control. That's you. Number 2, you need to identify something that you have the ability to change. Number 3, make a date to actually get started doing the thing you fear failing at. Make a date, do it. Block it off on your calendar and hold yourself accountable to doing it. Number 4 is just go ahead and execute. But in the execution, have a support system. Find a support system, and then also get around like-minded individuals who are maybe going through the same thing you're going through, that can help you and hold you up when you are down, and you can do the same for others. Lastly, once you've executed and you have either learned the lesson, failing is the first attempt in learning. So you learned something, maybe it wasn't the right thing, but you gave it your all, you tried your best, and it just didn't work out. Well, you learned that that's not the way, and you learned that you can do it a different way or try a different way, maybe to see better results. Or you have achieved something, meaning you tried it, even though you were afraid of the fail, you tried it, you didn't fail, and you actually achieved something and you made something happen in your life. So you can bask in it either way. You can actually be very proud and have satisfaction in knowing that you control something and that you conquered it. Now, the CEO mindset is really all about consistently or constantly evolving and being open to the fail. And you want to fail fast and you want to fail forward. I hope that helped you. I'm going to put the BU guide in the comments. You can grab that. That's very helpful in helping you to leverage your personal brand across your life and business. It's free. It's not a big deal. All right, that does it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this week's episode. I am so excited that you were with me today. If you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you never miss an episode. And also, if you're not following me over on Instagram, do that, because a lot of behind the scenes stuff happens there, what's going on in my life at the time, and how you can look at what I'm doing to see how I'm walking out my tips and principles that I share, not only here on my YouTube channel, but also over on my podcast. And if you're not subscribed to my podcast, then definitely do that, because that's where I'm sharing with you all the theoretical things, like the facts and the figures and the statistics and the articles and all of the things that support what I'm saying. So if you're not listening to my podcast, it's called the CEO Mindset Podcast, and that CEO stands for consistently evolving and being open to failing forward. and failing fast. So definitely subscribe to that. It will be linked down in the description notes below, so make sure that you click on that. Also, I have a Clubhouse. It is called the BU Boss Squad, and if you are on Clubhouse, definitely follow me, AF Patrick, and you can follow me on Instagram at AF Patrick as well. And then lastly, guys, everything that I'm talking about here on this channel, you can get help with your accountability and your support inside my membership club, the BU Boss Squad. There I am giving you tips and techniques that you can actually use in real time to grow your business, to help you in your life, and to help you with your career. So if you need that accountability and you need that support, then definitely click on that link down in my description and go ahead and apply today. I'm so excited you're with me this week. I will see you again next week because you subscribed, right? And hit the notification bell, right? Okay, awesome. Now, I'm going to leave a question in the comment box and I want you to answer it, okay? I want to know from you, what is it that you have a fear of failing? Leave that down there and let's talk about it, because odds are somebody else has that fear too, and we can help you achieve it in the comment section. We can help you overcome it. All right, guys, have a great week.